Good morning. Our hand today is Ace Queen. Under the gun folds, and it's to us. We're going to be playing our standard opening raise. Looking around at the table, we do have a 22-16. Plays a few more hands than what he should, but he is a little bit aggressive. Doesn't really 3-bet as much, though. Only have 3-bet 2 out of 137. You'd expect him to 3-bet a bit more. And then player right to our left is a 22-14. Very similar. He does 3-bet a bit more. 2,000 hands. Let's see what his overall stats look like. He is a small winner. So I think just standard, open, raise, folds around, and we have both blinds now. Both blinds, unknowns, we got 7 and 7. I'm going to say that our small blinds probably going to have the tighter range. Maybe something like that. We'll add a couple of those. Possibly even suited aces. Kind of difficult to tell for the small blind. For the big blind, I'm definitely going to include the suited aces. He is last to act. Just do pockets and get rid of aces and kings. He's last to act. He's going to be coming along with probably a much wider range. Possibly these suited one gappers as well. Probably maybe these offsuit broadways. We just don't know. We just don't know. I have 7 hands on him. We'll say, versus early position, we have a razor, and then he's going to come along with some of these speculative hands. Nothing too speculative. So then we're going to see a flop. So I'm playing tight. My range is going to be strong. 12.2%. I have 162 combos. Flop comes down. King 8-6 rainbow. 8 of hearts and 6 of diamonds. And we're going to see both players check to me. And now I'm in position. I'm up against 2 players. And we have to come up with what is going to be my c-betting range. I think we're in the best situation possible with our being in position at this point. The 7 hands, he's playing 43-29. We may be able to increase his ranges, but I think we're just going to be okay going with what we have, and then we can make a note afterwards. So it's on us. What do we do? What do we bet? We want to bet for value. We want to deny some equity. So I think we're going to go with, top pair plus definitely we're going to bet. I mean, that king's going to hit our hand. That king's going to hit a lot, give us top pair a big chunk of the time. Small blind we figure is probably going to miss. He might come along with the pocket pair one time, so he might, if he has a 9s or 10s, he might call once and then fold to a turn bet. Villain 2's kind of unknown. I think if villain 1 calls, then villain 2 is going to be less likely to call with his weaker hands. Yeah, you could have 8s. I think 8s might call, but again, it's going to be player dependent. So I think we're going to be looking at betting for value, top pair plus. I do think we can bet for some value, pocket pair below the top cards, so queens, jacks. Definitely queens and jacks. I'd probably say 10s and 9s too. I think with 9s we do have some backdoor equity. 10s a lot harder, but we still do have some backdoor straight draws on there. I think in terms of our draws, when you look at it, we could have a gut shot, and then we're down to our 2-card backdoor flush draw. So I think our 2-card backdoor flush draw are going to make up a big chunk of our betting range here. Are we going to bet everything? No, probably not. So we're not c-betting 100%, but I do think we're going to be c-betting a decent chunk of the time. What else can we bet as kind of a bluff? I think if we have a 7, we block a lot. we block a lot of possible cards that could have called. So like pocket sevens would, I think, could have called 8 7s, especially for the big blind. 8 7 6 7 could call once. So I'm not sure if we should be betting with sevens. I think those could be like checking hands, see what develops. 9 8's the middle pair. 9 8's we can probably bet. Hope for a fold, and then maybe these low pocket pairs. I mean, right now I'm looking at what my breakdown is. I've got more value. Let's see here. I think our middle pairs more like hoping for bluff, and I think our pocket pair below the top card. I think 9s and 10s we're hoping just to get some folds. Jacks and queens, we can handle it. We're trying to get like the suited aces out. If an ace comes on the turn, we want to make sure that the opponent's paid for it. I think that's probably our c betting range. So what do? I do c bet. I c bet half pot. That's probably okay. It could have gone for such a dry board. I think that's okay. If we were too suited, it might make sense to bet a little bit larger. Let's see what happens. So villain 1 folds. And now that villain 1 folds, I think we have to consider, is he going to call with air? Probably not. I'm going to say he's probably going to call with his pairs. Call at least once. Maybe he doesn't believe that I actually have it. 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, I think are less likely. Probably calls with his gut shot. So we're going to probably say that's his calling range. So we're going to see a turn. Okay, so their flop range, 42.5, oops, 0.6%, 89 hands. I would have liked it if both of them would have just folded with my actual hand, but you can see that we still would have had quite a bit of value here, top pair and so forth. So turns 4 of diamonds. How does that connect? Well, I don't think that really changes much. Yeah, you could have 5-7. I just think it's way unlikely. I mean, really, they would have called 5-7, and if he does, then we make a note and say he's capable of calling, the one gappers from the big blind. So villain 2 checks. I'm going to say he checks 100% of his range, and now it's on us. I bet 12. So what do I fire a second barrel with? Well, that 4 of diamonds improves our hand. So I think that 4 of diamonds is going to be definitely help to offset our flush draws. So it's going to balance those times when we actually do have top pair. And I think I'm going to be betting top pair over pair plus. So I think we have our 30% value range. I do think we continue betting our gut shots. Maybe. I think that's just for balance. And the question is, if we bet, we're about 44% bluffs. Are we getting enough folds? Is he going to be folding enough hands to us? I don't think he's going to fold. And if he doesn't believe us, then he doesn't believe us, and we make a note. But I can't imagine he's going to call with something less than a pocket pair, less than the top card. So like 9s, 10s, jacks, and queens. I think if we bet again, which we do, and we bet more than half pot, I think he's going to get rid of those hands, 9s, 10s, jacks, and queens. I think he's just going to fold. But I do think he's going to continue with a flush draw. Not sure about gut shots. Probably not. I don't think a whole lot of people call with the gut shots. But I think he would call with a flush draw. So I think he's calling he's continuing 42% of the time. He's folding, over 50% of the time. So yeah, I think including these gut shots is going to be good. I think we're going to show some profit because he is folding so much. So I think that's going to be my betting range. And then I'm going to say his calling range is that. Does he call? He does call. Do I think he's going to check raise at all? maybe. I think I'm going to take out the set and say I think most players are going to check raise their sets on this board. They're gonna open it up. So I'm going to take those sets out, and we're going to go with it. So 35.2%. He has 31 combos. Turn range is 54.3%. My combos is 50. And now we see a river, which is a 9 of spades, and that does not help me at all. And I think this is a situation now where, yeah, we're going to be ahead, but our draw didn't get there. So which of our hands could continue with a triple barrel? What could get 3 streets of value? I think our sets and our overpair could probably get 3 streets of value. I think with the overpair, King's going to be calling us again. And I think for that, Ace King's also going to bet. King Queen, I'm going to say I'm okay if we just check behind our King Queen if he checks. So what does he do? He checks. Was there any hands that he would have probably bet into us? No, I don't think so. So now, if I bet, what hands is he going to call? I think he's definitely calling top pair plus, and you can see it's 87% top pair plus. Maybe he calls middle pair because he doesn't believe that we have it, but I think top pair plus is what he's betting. So if he's going to be calling top pair plus, then that's where I think we should be betting ace king plus. I think king queen's showdown hand. Middle pair, weak pair probably has some showdown hand. Could we bluff? Well, probably not. I don't think he's folding enough. He's got so much top pair that, like, just top pair plus, he's calling 90% of the time. And that's if he calls with all of his kings, like calls with king 10 and king jack, which I think most players do. But you can see that it's 90% of the time. He's only folding 10% of the time. We're not getting enough fold equity. I mean, maybe one hand is a bluff, but I don't think so. I think we exploit players here and just bet our top pair, our ace king or better hand. I checked, which is I'm glad, and then he shows Jack 6, which I don't have anything in here, which means, you know, when you look at what he called the flop and he called the turn. He did not believe that I had any pair whatsoever, and he called not only with he didn't call with top pair, he didn't call with an under pair, he called with bottom pair on the flop, and then called with third pair on the turn. So we did not have this hand in his range at all. So looks like we had this. All right, we'll make a note of this. So this guy's exploit is definitely, if he's going to call, we don't know if he's going to call. I think that's going to change where we would bet all of our top pair, so like our king queen as well, and just go for 3 streets of value. No messing around, no, you know, checking and hoping someone takes initiative. Just kind of bet and hope he calls. So we didn't get his hand, but I'm happy with how I played with my ace queen. I think it's just unfortunate that he called down with that. I mean, he shouldn't have called down, especially on the turn. You have 2 bets, and he knows as much as I do, 7 hands. So it's not like he has a miraculous read on me unless he has like a huge database on me that he's purchased. So, all right, unfortunate, lost this hand, but we go for the next. All right, if you like the scene, look tomorrow for another.